For this crochet project, you're going to need your 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, as well as, got some fuzz on mine, but a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. I also used 15 millimeter sized safety doll eyes, and you can have fun with the colors. And I like to use the safety doll eyes with the metal or the plastic backing. If you want to know how or where I purchased my safety doll eyes, just go to my blog, www.helenmaycrochet.com, and at the top of my blog's page, you'll see a link for where I purchased my safety doll eyes. You can have fun. I prefer the cotton style yarn, but you could use acrylic yarn too. I found this fun roll or skein of Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton Sparkle, Twirls at Twilight, and that's the name of the color. And here's some information about this yarn. You're also going to need a black yarn. I'm just using some of my leftover medium 4 100% acrylic black yarn for embroidering the mouth. For the cheeks, I used my favorite Pinky Toes colored yarn from I Love This Yarn. You can use whatever favorite pink that you want for the cheeks. That's a 100% acrylic medium 4, or you can use 100% cotton. So this I'm trying a little bit different. I'm actually going to be using poly foam inside of my tooth for the stuffing. And I bought the 3" by 15" by 17". You should have plenty of this poly foam to make a lot of these teeth. And I got mine from Hobby Lobby, but you can find wherever the most inexpensive that you can. And again, this is the poly foam. Perfect for little pillows. So the first thing you're going to do is just take whatever yarn that you want for your tooth, and we're going to start with a chain. So you're going to take your yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop, take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through the loop for a slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that knot down and cinch the loop around your crochet hook. Now I'm just going to show you 4 chains on video tutorial, but you need to make a chain of 12. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 12 and then come back. So after you finish your chain of 12, now we're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So you just count back 4 stitches from the hook, or 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to make a double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook. So you just yarn over, go into that 4th chain from the hook, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Go ahead and yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2. You have 2 loops remaining. Go ahead and yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the 2 remaining loops. Then you're just going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch back across. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, make your double crochet, so go ahead, finish making 1 double crochet in every stitch back across, and then come back. So now you should have 10 double crochet stitches after you finished that first row. So the first chain that we made is called the starting chain. And then when we made the double crochets back across, that was our first row. Now we're going to move up to the second row. So you're going to take your work and just turn it so that your work is facing you just like this. And then you're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch over. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, and then make a double crochet. And then you're just going to make one double crochet in every stitch back across. So this is my second double crochet, third. So go ahead, finish making one double crochet in every stitch back across. So now you should have a total of 9 double crochet in the second row, and we're going to move up to the third row. So again, you're just going to turn your work, and then you're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch over. So you just yarn over, go into that next stitch over, bring up a loop, make your double crochet, and then just make one double crochet in every stitch back across. So now you should have 8 double crochet. So you can see that we started with 10, then we had 9 stitches, and now we have 8 stitches. So now you're just going to turn your work again, and then make one double crochet into the next stitch, and then one double crochet in each of the stitches back across, and this time you're going to have a total of 7 double crochet after you finish your 4th row. So this is how my work looks so far. And now you're going to make a chain of 14. I'm just going to show you 4 of them. So you just yarn over, go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 14 and then come back. So after you finish your chain of 14, then you're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So just count back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make a double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook. And then you're just going to make one double crochet into every stitch back across. Now when you reach your initial chain segment where you first started the chain, you want to make sure that your crochet work is facing in a direction where you can crochet your stitches into the spaces. So I have one left on my initial chain. I'm going to go ahead and finish my last double crochet in the first chain that I made. And then I'm going to continue making one double crochet into every stitch from that last 4th row that we made. And you could see how we extended the 5th row, which is what you wanted. So that's how you can extend a row, by making the chain on the previous row. So now I have the 5th row, which is longer. And then you just continue finishing up the one double crochet in every stitch back across the original segment, crochet segment. This is my last stitch. So now, after that 5th row, you should have a total of 19 stitches. Then you're just going to turn your work, make one double crochet into the next stitch, and then one double crochet in every stitch back across. So now you should have a total of 18 stitches after completing that row. Then you're going to take and turn your work and then make 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. And when you finish this row, you should have a total of 17 stitches in the row. So now for the next row, we're going to be increasing the stitch count. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and this time you're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch. So I'm just going to get my tapestry needle to show you. So here is the base of the chain 3. You're going to make another double crochet into the same stitch. So you just yarn over, go into the same stitch, and make a double crochet. And then you're just going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across except for the last stitch. When you reach the last stitch, come back and I'll work the last stitch with you. So now I have 1 stitch remaining. For this row, I'm going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch, and then that will finish up this row with a stitch count of 19. And then we're going to repeat this row that we just finished for the next row. So you're going to move up by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. You're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch back across except for the last stitch. In the last stitch, you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And when you finish this row, you should have a stitch count of 21. So now this is how your work should look, and I have a total of 21 stitches after completing that last row. We're going to make 1 more row where we increase the stitch count by 2. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, make a double crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch back across except for the last stitch. In the last stitch, you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch, and that should finish this row with a stitch count of 23. So now you should have a stitch count of 23. This is how my work looks so far. Now we're going to make the shells that go across the top of the tooth. So you're just going to turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch over. Then you're going to make a half double crochet into the next stitch. So you yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 loops to complete a half double crochet. Then you're going to make a double crochet into the next stitch. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops to complete your double crochet. Then you're going to make 1 treble crochet into the next 2 stitches. So to make a treble crochet, you yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. You have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops. You have 3 loops remaining. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the 2 remaining loops to complete a treble crochet. And then you're going to make one more treble crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to make a double crochet. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, complete a double crochet, make a half double crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the next stitch. And then you just completed a shell over those few stitches. Then you're going to make one single crochet into the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to complete our next shell over the remaining stitches. So you're going to make a single crochet into the first stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the next stitch, one treble crochet into the next 2 stitches, one double crochet into the next stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into the last stitch. Now we're going to make our last row. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to repeat the stitches over the previous row's shells. So we know that the next stitch is a half double crochet, then a double crochet, one treble crochet into the next 2 stitches, a double crochet into the next stitch, a half double crochet into the next stitch, and then a single crochet into every stitch until you reach the next half double crochet in the other shell. So I'm just going to work this with you. So now I'm getting close to my next shell. It's a single crochet into this stitch, and then it's a half, let me double check it here. So that should be half, double, treble, treble, double, half, and then a single. So I'm going to make a half double crochet into the next stitch, then a double crochet, one treble into the next 2 stitches, then a double, then a half crochet. Then I'm going to slip stitch into the last stitch. You're going to go into the last stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch into the last stitch. Then you can finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. So now this is how my work looks so far. So now you want to turn your work upside down, and where the bottom tooth, where you have the segment on the right, and then we're going to join our yarn here for the other portion of the bottom segment of the tooth. So you want to count from the end, you want to count over 8 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then join your yarn into the 8th stitch from the left. So just bring up the yarn and then tie a knot. And then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to go behind my loose yarn end. And then you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. Until you have a total of 7 stitches. So far I have, counting the first chain 3, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to trim my loose yarn end and then make my 7th. Double crochet. So now you should have a total of 7 stitches in the row. Then you can chain 3, turn your work, make a double crochet into the same stitch, and then just 1 double crochet into the next stitch and every stitch back across, and that should give you a stitch count of 8 when you finish this row. So now you should have a stitch count of 8. Go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and again you're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch. Then 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch back across, and that will give you a stitch count of 9 when you're finished. Then for our last row you're going to chain 3, turn your work, make 1 double crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. And when you finish, you'll have a stitch count of 10 for this last row. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And then this is what your tooth should look like when you're finished. Here's the bottom, and then here's the top with the shells. And you're going to need 2 of these, so make 2 of them the exact same way, and then come back. So for my safety doll eyes, you want to get one of the panels that you made, and whatever side that you want for the right side is where you're going to place your safety doll eyes. For mine, the first round from the top is that top part of the shell. Here's the second round with the bottom part of the shell, and then the third round, and then the 4th round. So mine's just under the 4th round. And I used the bottom portion of the tooth to kind of line up where I wanted to place the eyes. I have 3 stitches between my eyes, and then because we use double crochet, be careful where you place your safety doll eye. So for my safety doll eye, I went into the top of the double crochet stitch. So be careful not to go between the double crochet stitches, because then the safety doll eye may slip through and you don't want it to come off. So that's what I did. I went through the top of the double crochet stitch. Then once you're happy with the safety doll eye placement, you can take and attach your safety latches right onto the back to secure the safety doll eyes in place. So now I'm going to show you how to make the cheeks to sew those on. You're going to need 2 of them, and you're going to start with a magic circle. So just take your yarn, whatever pink colored yarn that you're using for the cheeks, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers twice, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops around the middle finger, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then just take your 4 finger and thumb, hold the base of the 6 single crochet. You have these 2 loops on the other side. Go ahead and pull on one. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other one, but this one's closing. Don't worry if you don't get it completely closed. Then take the loose yarn end and pull on that. Then just turn your work so that it's making a circle. Then you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. So take your crochet hook, go into that first stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to sew the cheek in place. And again, you're going to need 2 of these for the cheeks. So now you're just going to place your cheek and then use your tapestry needle to sew it in place. So I've already brought the loose yarn end towards the back, from the back of the magic circle. If you need to close the center of the magic circle, just turn your work over, and you can pull on that loose yarn end on the back, and then that just closes up the magic circle nicely. Then you're going to take and sew the cheek in place, and I sewed mine right, so here's the safety doll eye, and there's a row right under the safety doll eye. The row right underneath that is where I placed my cheek, and then you're just going to sew all around the border of the cheek. So you just go in and out with your tapestry needle all around the border of the cheek and sew it in place. And then you're going to position the other cheek symmetrically so it looks the same on both sides, and then sew it on the exact same way. So this is what mine looks like after I sewed the cheeks on, and both sides, I'm about 3 stitches in on both sides for my cheeks. Then you can get your black yarn on your tapestry needle, and you're just going to sew the mouth in place. So I'm just going to go right next to the cheek with my tapestry needle from the wrong side. Make sure you leave enough on the wrong side for tying a knot. Then I'm just going to go at a diagonal down to the 1 stitch over and down to the bottom of the row. And then I'm going to tie a knot on the wrong side. Then you can come up about 3 stitches over, and then go back in across for the bottom of the mouth. And you can stop there if you want to, or you can go ahead and make the other side of the smile. So either way would be cute. And then just go right back in for the left side of the smile. Then you can just tie a knot on the wrong side. So this is what mine looks like so far. And now I'm ready to get the polyfoam. So for mine, I just cut out a little segment for my tooth, bigger than my tooth, and then I'm going to trim it down to the size that I need. But you can get a smaller polyfoam if you wanted to. You can see that I have plenty of this one, and I only cut about 1 inch thick for mine, and now I'm going to trim it down to the size that I want for my tooth. Then I just placed my tooth right on top of the polyfoam, and I kind of just drew an outline all around the tooth so I know where to cut on the inside of the tooth. Now I'm going to cut about 1 centimeter inside of the line that I made. So now I have my little stuffing, the polyfoam stuffing for the tooth. And you can see how it fits over the stuffing nicely. So now I'm going to get the backing and place it onto the back, and then we're going to crochet the stuffing inside of your tooth. So we're going to start in the top right corner. So position your tooth so that the right side is facing up, then you have your polyfoam, and then you have the wrong side facing up for the back side. Then you're just going to take your yarn, the same colored yarn, and you're going to join the 2 portions of the tooth with your yarn. Go ahead and tie a knot. Then you're just going to chain 1, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the same space. So you're working in the double crochet space. So the double crochet is on its side, and you're going to work in the double crochet space right underneath on both the front and the back, and then you're going to make 2 single crochet into the same space. There's 1 and then 2. And then you're just going to go into the next double crochet space on both the front and the back and make 2 single crochet. And then you're going to make 2 single crochet into each of the double crochet spaces along the side, and then come back. Now when you get to the corner, you're going to continue to work into the double crochet spaces as best as you can, and in some cases, as you're turning the corner, you can place 3 single crochet into the same space, and that helps to keep the corner lying flat. And then you're going to continue making a single crochet into each of the stitches so that you're joining the 2 ends. And then around the corner, I usually place 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So around each corner, I would use 2 single crochet instead of 1. So I'm at the top now, so I'm going to make 1 single crochet. And then you can move the stuffing back to position it as you're crocheting the pieces together. And that's how you're going to, and I tuck the loose yarn ends into the inside as well. So that's how you're going to crochet the 2 pieces together. Just 1 single crochet into the spaces along the top, except when you're working around a curve. Like I said, you can place 2 single crochet. So I'm coming down on the opposite curve, so I'm going to make 2 single crochet into the same stitch here, and then 2 single crochet into this stitch. And then I'm going to make 1 single crochet until I reach the other curves. And make sure that you position the 2 pieces so that they line up, and then that's how you crochet the pieces together. So when you reach the beginning, come back, and then I'll show you what to do next. Then when you reach the beginning where you first started, you can go ahead and make a slip stitch into that first stitch that you made. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and just pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then this is what my tooth pillow looks like, really cute. Then you can take and bury your loose yarn ends if you have any. Just take your tapestry needle, put it onto your loose yarn end, and then just go right through. Let me just use one of these just to show you. Just go right through the stitches and bury the loose yarn end. Then you can go ahead and trim it. So now I'm going to show you how to make the little pocket on the back for placing the tooth. So the starting chain will be how big you want your pocket to be. For my pocket, I started with a chain of 15. So the first thing you're going to do is take your yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that knot down. Cinch the loop around your crochet hook. And I'm just going to show you 4 chains, but you're going to make a chain of 15. So yarn over, go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 15 and then come back. So this chain of 15 is going to be the length of your pocket. So if you want a smaller one, then you just start with a smaller chain. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So count back 2, go into that second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, and then make a single crochet. Then you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So now you should have a stitch count of 14, and then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet into the next stitch over. So you're not going to go into this stitch right at the base of the chain 1, you're going to go into the next stitch over and then make your single crochet. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So now you should still have a stitch count of 14. And you're just going to keep repeating that. Chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet into the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. And you're maintaining your stitch count of 14 until you have the amount of rows that you want for the depth of your pocket. So however deep you want your pocket to be is how many rows that you're going to make. When you come back, I'll show you how many rows that I made. So for mine, I made 10 rows. Then you just finish off. When you finish your last single crochet, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the back pocket in place. Then just take the back pocket, place it right onto the back of the tooth, line it up where you would like to have it, This is how I lined mine up. Make sure it's centered. Then you just take your tapestry needle and then you just go in and out, sewing the edges and leaving the top portion of the pocket open. So you just go in and out with your tapestry needle. And I'm going into the polyfoam too. You don't have to, but it won't hurt if you do. So I'm actually sewing some of the polyfoam too. And then you just sew your pocket in place. And this is what my pocket looks like when I'm finished. And this is your pillow. So I'm going to show you how to make this adorable Tooth Fairy pillow. These work great for craft tables. They're really quick and easy to make. If you go to my blog, www.helenmaycrochet.com, I have the free written pattern for this available on my blog.